My name is Jaden Savage, and for as long as I can remember, I've always wanted one thing: to make money at a young age. Not because I had to, but because I was driven to. That mindset started when I was just 7 years old, and like lots of kids, I wanted to start a lemonade stand. But what made mine different was the purpose behind it. My friend and I didn't just sell lemonade. We went door to door and we used social media to raise money for a child battling leukemia. In just a few hours, we'd raised around $4,000. We each made around 400, but that didn't matter. What mattered was the impact. Our neighbor doubled our earnings when he heard the story. And then something unbelievable happened. Nick Saban, a legendary college football coach who once coached my father, tripled what we'd raised. Our story was so popular it was even picked up by the Lansing State Journal. At 7 years old, that experience changed me. It showed me that money wasn't just something you earn, it's something that you can use to create an impact. And as I got older, that drive never went away. Instead, it evolved. In sixth grade, I discovered freelance writing. I started making money online, writing for other people. And while I was earning, I wasn't fulfilled. So, I'd stopped. Because even back then, when I knew I didn't just want money, I wanted purpose. Then came eighth grade. That's when I was introduced to the life design program by Mr. Daly. And at first, I didn't fully understand it, but once I saw what it offered, the freedom, the creativity, and the opportunity, I was all in. The problem was, I had no idea what I wanted to do. At first, I thought I had it figured out. I started designing clothing, I created hoodies, got samples, and I was super committed. But something still felt off. And that's when I decided to take a step back and look at my life. On one hand, I had my dad, an entrepreneur who built a construction business from the ground up. On the other side, my mom, who works at JP Morgan Private, surrounded by high-level clients and investors. And on top of that, my parents had both gone in on a business together, opening a restaurant and bar in Cedar Knolls. Two completely different worlds, and yet I was drawn into both. But what stood out the most to me were the investors, the people who understood money, the people who made money work for them. And that's when everything clicked. For my project, I decided to learn how to trade on the stock market. Not just stocks, but ETFs and futures, like NASDAQ and the S&P 500. I'll be honest, it was not easy. At first, a lot of people doubted me. Even my teachers, who all believed in me, thought that this wasn't realistic. But I believe, and for as long as I can remember, I've always wanted one thing: to make money at a young age. Not because I had to, but because I was driven to. That mindset started when I was just 7 years old, and like lots of kids, I wanted to start super inconsistent. One week, I felt unstoppable, and the next, I felt completely lost. And the hardest part wasn't the strategy, but it was controlling the emotions. But I never quit. Something in the back of my head made me want to push through when everything and everyone believed it was going to fail. I stayed consistent, refined my strategy, and I kept showing up when it felt like I wasn't improving. Eventually, I'd set a goal: to earn access to a $50,000 trading account through a corporation that specializes in prop firms. Essentially, the way it works is you pass their course and their requirements, you are given an X amount of money. For instance, for me, $50,000. You then use that money to trade. And on top of that, the great part is you get to keep 90% of the profits that you make. When I told Mr. Daly the idea, he looked at me like I was crazy. He said, "Why would anyone give a 16-year-old $50,000 to trade with?" But then I explained the process, and I told him I'm going to make it happen. When I told my parents, they were skeptical too. But I asked them to trust me, because at this point, I trusted myself. When I finally got my first funded account, everything changed. It was real now. Real money, real pressure, and I struggled terribly. I blew 4 accounts before ever passing any of them. I got locked out, failed, but I never stopped. Because I knew something that most people don't accept. Failure isn't the opposite of success. It's part of it. And then, about 2 months ago, I finally did it. I'd passed. I'd earned access to a $50,000 account. and at that moment, it meant everything to me. Since then, I've had days where I've made hundreds of dollars and days where I've lost even more. But no matter what, I keep going. Because this journey has taught me more than just how to trade. It's taught me discipline, confidence, and resilience. It's taught me how to trust myself, even when things aren't going my way. And most importantly, it's taught me that success doesn't happen overnight. It's built through consistency, failure, and persistence. Today, I've made around $5,000 through trading. But money isn't the biggest win. The mindset is. And I know this is just the beginning, so I want to thank Mr. Daly, the Life Design Program, and my parents for believing in me, especially in the moments when I didn't believe in myself. Because without them, I wouldn't be standing here today. And I'm not done yet. Not even close.